Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, beloveds. Up early, meditating this morning, and God just would not let me sleep on this one. So I had to get up, and come on here and give the message. Let not your hearts be worried. I know my message last night may have been a little heavy, but that message came to me during another meditation. I sat down um, for about 20 minutes yesterday and just communioned with God. And during that communion, I got that message. And when I get these messages, the thing is that when I am not in the presence of that immunity, when it has nothing to do with me, then I know it is a collective message. That message is God asking me to give it on to his children. So anytime when I get a message that is not pertaining to me, I know what I need to heal. I know what level of my evolution I am on. So if God presents something to me that I've already been through the wilderness, I already to walk through that journey in the wilderness. It's not for me, it's for God's children, those who are walking behind me. And let not your hearts be worried, beloveds. A lot of us don't realize that everything is happening in this kingdom. Everything. There's not anything happening in the world, beloveds. Nothing. Do not be conformed by the world. Do not be conformed by the world, but by the renewing of your mind. Your conformity, what conformity does inside of this kingdom is it traps the spirit in the nervous system. And disclaimer, do not, I'm giving you a disclaimer. Do not steal this existence to profit the world, beloveds. Do not steal. Do not be a thief. Do not be a destroyer of this message reaching God's children, because you're taking it out into the world where it will be used as a weapon formed against your own immunity to life. Disclaimer, I want you guys to all understand that you cannot steal, kill, or destroy your own existence. You cannot take what does not belong to you. Existence is free. That's why you got all those people out there manipulating you right now, manipulators. And you don't understand that's a darkness, and that darkness grows and it 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 grows, and now you got a whole bunch of people who don't know that they're being taken over by a manipulating spirit. And I don't know why this is doing this, but it don't matter. It don't matter, beloveds. Take the message for what it is. If it does not resonate with you, let it go in one ear and out the other. If it does resonate with you, know that it is your calling upon life. Know that it is life feeding you your truth. Let not your hearts be worried. A lot of us don't realize that there's no such thing as evil. I want to make these things very clear. Although I have to use your understandings, although I have to use your perceptions, although I have to use your doctrines, although I have to use your words, in this kingdom, they don't exist. Because I know evil in this kingdom, all evil is a mentality that is negative and a heart that is wicked. That's what evil is. It's a mentality that is negative in a heart that is wicked. They know not what they do. See, what many people don't realize is that we operating in this kingdom. This is what's casting out everything amongst every last one of us. If you want to see a devil, you have to see the type of heart this person is producing against all of life. That's what a devil is. It's a person who got this power, because our heart is, it says, guard your heart through the well springs of life flow. Your heart is existence, and it commands those things to be in which they are. This is why it says God knows your heart, and your heart pumps the blood of life. It pumps existence. It pumped existence, beloveds. So we must understand that you are the frequency and the vibration and the immunity to what you are experiencing out in the world. And in some cases, you are the sponge. You are the sponge that can soak up what is going on in the world, because your heart is a purifier. Your heart is purification. Your heart is here to be able to it's like a sponge, is here to suck up all that dirty defoulness that many don't know they plague this whole universe with. But nobody should have to be that sponge. Why should they not have to be that sponge? Because when you don't realize that your heart is a resonance, it says, guard your heart through the well springs of life flow. Your heart is a prayer within its own testament of life. It's a prayer. And God knows my heart. God knows my heart's desires is all of existence. See, why I get these downloads, why I get these testaments, why I get these truths is because my heart is a resonance to God, to life, to all things, for the greater good of all. I don't think as one. I know that all things are one, so it's universal. So when I think, because I carry the mindset and I carry the immunity of God's heart, I don't carry the immunity of my heart or my beliefs, because my beliefs are conformed and my heart has been broken, which means my spirit. People have come after my spirit all my life and tried to destroy me in my heart. See, when we do things to other people, it is the heart that is being darkened. We are taking on these spirits. See, when people don't realize that whenever we let something come in, it says, surely if you eat, you got to remember, beloveds, that you don't take anything into this kingdom that's not worthy to be praised for all of life. If all of life cannot be praised in it, if all of life cannot be uplifted in it, if all of life cannot be sustained by it, you have to have discernment to know that that is not of God. If God is for you, nothing can be against you, beloveds. If God is for you, nothing can be against you. This is discernment. Discernment is knowing that we are one universal law. Why are we one universal law? Because we was all cut from the same cloth. And anybody who's trying to cut you out of that cloth, tell you you're not worthy to be in that cloth, exclude you from that cloth, is not of God. And this is just the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. If I am telling a lie, you will go before this lie and make that lie the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. If I am telling the truth, you will go before the lie and make the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. Holding myself accountable as I'm holding anything that's not holding itself accountable to this beautiful testament to life, because life is one in itself, which means that every last one of us is cut from that same fabric and that same cloth and that same existence, and no one is unworthy of that existence but those who intentionally, you hear me, intentionally, some know not what they do. Forgive them, Father, for those who know not what they do. Forgive them, Father. This is when you forgive. You forgive those who know not what they do. But those who do know what they do, take it to the heart. Let not your hearts be worried, beloveds. Take it to your heart. Take it to your heart. Now we know my heart is part of healing, was knowing that people intentionally hurt me, like knowing that these people intentionally hurt me in my face. It was like, B F you, in my face. Like they didn't have no discernment that they were hurting me, that what they were doing was going to affect my life, that what they were doing was going to affect my health, that what they were doing was going to affect my mental health, that was going to affect my emotional health. These people were so wicked that they did not think that what they were doing was going to hurt me on any level of my existence. And they did it intentionally. And this was my hardest journey. This is why my heart stayed so weary for so long, beloveds. It stayed weary for so long because I knew that these people were intentionally harming me. And they didn't question anything that they did. They did it because they wanted to do it. They wanted to do it. And they didn't have no mercy. They didn't have no grace. They didn't have no love. They didn't have no worry that what they were doing was going to affect me on some type of level when it came to my existence. And that is wickedness. And that is when you have to not let your hearts be weary. And that was what was destroying me. That toxic shock was allowing these people to keep continuing to do this to me. Just continue and continue to do this to me and never standing up for my living right. Never standing up for my living right. Crying to God, mad at God. Like, I'm so mad at God because I'm like, God, I don't deserve this. I do not deserve this. Angry with God. Let not your hearts be weary. See, when you carry, I carried an anger against existence, beloveds, and it was about to destroy me. And this is happening with a lot of people right now. A lot of us don't realize this is what is happening to us. Our hearts are so weary. Our hearts are so bruised. Our hearts are so angry by the things that people have done to us. And do they have the right to do those things to us? No, they don't. Those people are sick. And what you don't realize and what you need to realize on this day is that they are already punished. That's a sickness. They are sick. Everything that they produce, everything that they do will be a sickness to life. And because we don't understand the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth, is why we are at this battle. Okay, anger is a double-edged sword, beloveds. It does not matter if you get angry because somebody else angry is hurting you. It does not matter. It just doesn't matter because we are all one. We are here as one collective mind, one collective body, one collective soul, one collective bloodline of called existence. And we were not supposed to fragment this existence. We were not supposed to denominalize this existence. We were not supposed to culturalize this existence. We were supposed to keep it as one testament to life. I came to give you life. That's all each and every one of these vessels are here in the purpose of, is just to ensure the fabric of life, the elemental kingdom of life. That's it. We were not supposed to go outwardly. We were not supposed to conform this life. We were never supposed to take this life and go outwardly with it, because it's for this kingdom. It's for this elemental kingdom. And this elemental kingdom will go outwardly with its spirit. I send an angel before thee, but instead we sent it in thee. We cast ourselves out. This is what it says, the fallen angels, God cast them down from heaven, which means he took them out of the heart. He took you out of your wellspring and he casted you down to the nervous system. So anybody in their nervous system is in fight and flight mode, which means they are in survival mode. Everyone in survival mode. And we know the people that are in survival mode. These are the people that are jealous. These are the people that are hateful. These are the people that don't want to see anybody else rise above them. They will kill, steal, and destroy you in order to not let you look good or to not let you rise above them. They are in survival mode. They know not what they do. And some of them do know what they do. And if you know that these people know what they do and they still do it, go to your heart. Let not your heart be weary, beloveds. Let not your heart be weary. Do not ever let your heart be weary. Why? Because that's your wellspring of life. Anything you produce in this kingdom right here, it goes straight to the blood, directly to your blood, beloveds. Let not your hearts be weary. You take your immunity down there, which is your calling, whatever you need God to come before you on this day or at that present moment for you in the behalf of your life and your life abundantly. And you send that prayer off with love. You send that prayer off with the very fabric of existence. You send that prayer off with ensuring that it is for the greater good of all. For the greater good of all, because remember, this is a universal law. What's not for the greater good of all, God will go before that, beloveds. Don't you ever doubt. And don't you ever question this law of this land, because this is, oh, thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. This land is an elemental kingdom. And it says, ask and it shall be given. Seek and you will find that I am the one granting all of life unto you, my beloveds. I got you, my beloveds. If God is for you, what can be against you? So whatever is against you, let not your heart be worried. Let not your heart be weary, beloveds, because that is somebody operating outside of God's blessings. That is somebody operating in fight and flight mode. And some people do not know. See, this is where God is so beautiful. God is never trying to hurt us, beloveds. God will never hurt his beloveds. He will never hurt his beloveds. But what he will do is use that law. See, that law knows our hearts. That law knows every one of our hearts, beloveds. And that law knows if that person is intentional and if that person knows not what it is doing. The law knows all of us up close and personally, beloveds. And when we come to our hearts, let not your hearts be weary. Come to your heart at every present moment when you are dealing with someone you know is intentionally harming you, when you are dealing with sickness in your life, when you are dealing with poverty in your life. We do not get the way that we are without somebody feeding us that intention. Let me tell you, because life is universal, which means that one for all and all for one. I say about a year ago, I channeled Mother Earth and she said, none of my children are going to be left behind this time. None of her children will be left behind. So what you got to realize is that was already a decree. That's been a decree already, or I wouldn't have not picked up that channeling. It would not have been presented to me. See, life is universal. Life is already predestined. So somebody already sowed that seed already into life. And because I am a channel I'm a messenger, I'm a channeler, I'm a messenger of life. I can pick up on those predestined seeds, those prayers that were already answered, and then I channel them. I receive the message as confirmation that God has already ordained them. God is already working on them. They are now put into existence by, thank you, Spirit. Thank you so much, Spirit. Thank you, 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 thank you. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Excuse me, you guys. Please forgive me. It's like, ooh. Let not your hearts be worried, beloveds. Let not your hearts be worried. There's a law to this land. And that law is our heart's desires, beloveds. That law will go before any intention that is not pure, righteous, loving, agape, and universal. It will go after whatever intention it was to come against your existence. See, the only thing that we are guaranteed, it says, I came to give you life. So life is you got to see life as your parent. Don't see the physical body as your parent, because the kingdom of heaven lives within. And that same physical parent got the same parent as you got. So we come from the Most High, beloveds. We all are born from the Most High. We all are within the kingdom of the Most High. Even our parents got the same lineage, the same bloodline, the same mentality, the same heart, the same soul, the same genetic code. No one is separated. This is what universal law means. One. I and my Father are one. This is what that scripture means. I and my Father are one. I'm not excluded from nobody else, beloveds. And the day that somebody tries to exclude me, the day somebody tries to deny me, the day somebody tries to fragment me, the day somebody tries to cast me out, is the day that life, if I honor life, if I honor life, if I accept life, if I believe in life, because that's all we are inside of this kingdom, beloveds. There's no other way to see life. How do you know this? How do I know this? We're blood. And that blood came to give this body life. And as long as you know the biological story, which is the book of life, then you can take life to his heart's desires. See, this is where everything is answered. When you angry, you get answered. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. When you trying to be jealous of somebody, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. You are a double-edged sword. Everything that we do is double-headed. You want to know why it's double-headed? Because it's universal, which means that we are the greater good of all things. You are the greater good of all things. There's no one excluded. And that people who try to exclude us, the people who try to separate us, the people who try to deny us, we going to take that to our heart. Take it to your heart, beloveds, not with anger, not with malice, not with fear, not with wanting them to be punished, but with love and for the greater good of all. Because what you don't understand is that when you praise life, anything that's not operating in that immunity, the law will handle it according to its own testament of life. We have a responsibility to life. Every last one of us, we have a responsibility to life. And that means to stand as its immunity. Stand still and know that I am God. It means that we have to be responsible for the fabric of existence. I came to give you life and life abundantly. So that means that we all have but one responsibility inside of this kingdom, beloveds. And how do I know this? Because our blood, when we don't honor the law of that blood, it destroys our life, beloveds. It taints our hearts. Remember, it comes after us when we don't do right. This is what an eye for an eye is. This is why you don't realize you got all these wicked people around this world doing bad things to other people. That's that eye for an eye. Because one thing that we cannot do in this kingdom is we cannot become a thief to come to kill, steal, and destroy any form of its fabric of existence. Why? Because it's elemental, and God knows our heart. God knows the type of immunity we are casting upon this earth, upon nature, upon existence, upon each other. And no one is going unjustified, beloveds. On no given day is not no one going unseen for what they have done to you, I, us, we, they, humanity as a whole. So on this day, beloveds, let not your heart be weary, because I know that a lot of us, I'm telling you my own testament. I'm telling you my story, not ashamed. Not ashamed of what anybody will feel, think, or say, or do to me, beloveds. Why? Because I honor the greater good of all. My heart is pure. My heart is righteous. My heart is loving. My heart is an immunity to all of life, regardless of what anybody has done to me, anybody has said to me, anybody has tried to keep from me, anything that anybody has denied from me. That was their ignorance. That was their sickness. That was their sin. It belongs to them. It does not belong to me to bring into my kingdom and make my heart weary with it, which means bring that. Surely if you eat from that tree of good and evil, bring that into my kingdom, which is poison, and it's going to destroy what? My wellspring of life, which is my bloodline. Now I'm eating of somebody else's death. They have that immunity because they have not honored God's kingdom within. They have not honored life. So they're sick because of it. It's no other reason. And some of us, we are sick because, like myself, I was sick. I got toxic shock. My own immunity was about to wipe me off the fabric of this earth because I kept taking in. I kept letting existence just, I kept letting people just abuse me, talk about me, disgrace me, shame me, curse me. And I would not do nothing about it but just cry. I wake up every morning crying, instead of calling on God, which I should have been able to do, but I didn't, because as a kid, I called on God and I saw him do something bad to the person I called on him about, and I didn't wish nobody bad. But what I seen God do, it made me fear God. This is how I know the law. I know the law. I know the law personally. 2 times in my life, I saw this law go before my cry. Hear my heart. And I didn't wish bad on these people. I did not wish any bad on them. But God said, I got to do this. God had to go before those situations because God knew that those people were not going to stop on me. God knew that they were not going to give up on hurting me. So God handled it. But at that time, I was too young to understand what was going on. But as I grew, as I grew more higher in my evolution, in my communion with God, the Holy Spirit of existence, I got a better understanding of that law, because when I asked God for anything, God would take care of it. But when I asked man for anything, it was never done. But anytime I asked God for something, God came through always. Always. But it was never, I was never asking for money, beloveds. My life was, I had an attack on my life. All of my life, people just attacked me. They attacked me. I wasn't getting a break. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think. I couldn't have rest because the attacks over my life were just so lethal. They were so lethal. It was like people did not want me living. They did not want to see me living. They did not want to see me happy. They did not want to see God sustaining me. They did not want to see me rise because of who I was. People were threatened by me. People were jealous of me. Many people never liked me, and they didn't even have a reason. Like, you didn't have a reason whatsoever to not like me. I never done anything to you. Like, never. And these people were intentionally coming after me. This is when it's intentional. When you don't do anything to these people, like, they don't even have a reason why they treating you that way. They don't have no reason at all why they do you that way. They make up these excuses. They gang stalk you with other people, and these people don't even know you. And they draw in this darkness. They draw in this immunity, and they let other people gang stalk you with them. This is this world. God is testing us all. God is testing us. And how God gets to the darkness is through the light. That's how God gets to the darkness, is through the light. So let not your hearts be worried. I know a lot of you guys can see my heart is like hugging me right now. It's hugging me. Because I'm getting my own understanding as well. When I give these messages, it is my soul. It's the soul speaking through me. Not all the time do I even know what I'm saying. Sometimes I go back and I hear the video and I'm like, I'm melting inside of my own spirit. I'm melting inside of my own soul because I'm getting my own message. It's like hearing God talk to me through me. And I'm like melting, and I'm going so far in relaxation. I'm going so far in comfort. God is always available to us, beloved. Let not your heart be worried. God is always there, ready to fight our battles, because we didn't come here to fight battles. The battle is not ours. The battle has never been ours, beloveds, but your heart is a prayer already answered. It's a prayer already answered. Why? Because the minute that it beats, it's a frequency and it's a vibration to all other fabrics of life. So if you carry an anger, it's a weapon formed against a weapon. It's an eye for an eye. If you carrying it as the greater good of all, it's an immunity to life, which means that anything that is not, you hear me? Not anything that is not of God will be taken care of because of your love, your immunity for life. Thank you, Spirit. Spirit is like, thank you, baby. I'm like, so amazing. Because of your immunity for life, life has to go before anything that's destroying that immunity. It's your love, it's your heart's desires that fulfill the testament of life. It's your heart. Let not your hearts be weary. I know people have done things to us, beloveds. I know people have done bad things to us, intentional things to us, but it was because of the light that you carry. It was because of the immunity that you carry, and that you came here. You came here as the karma to those people. You came here to allow God to recognize who the true adversary is. And I tell you, there's really no devil or no adversary. It's a person who doesn't know, who knows the heart is wicked. Who truly knows their heart is wicked? Because the people who justify why they do things, justify why the same thing that they would not let happen to an elderly or a child, but they're doing it to another adult, and they justify this. Who knows their heart is wicked? Because life is universal. If you cannot do it to a child or an elderly, you cannot do it to me or any other a person of existence. Period. It don't work the way you believe when it comes to a universal law. When it comes to existence, which means that this is somebody's life. You coming after somebody's life. You're not coming after their name. You're not coming after their race. You're not coming after their sex. You're not coming after their character. You're coming after their life. And when you come after life, there is a price that you will have to pay. So on this day, beloveds, let not your hearts be weary. Take your prayer. You don't even have to pray. Take your love. Take your immunity to, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Spirit, thank you, thank you. Take your heart's desires to God. Place them upon the throne, which is your heart, and ensure all of life. Ensure all of life. You don't want to exclude nobody, because you want all of life either healed, and if they don't want to be healed, you want God, you want that law to take care of them immediately. You don't want no bad for no one. Just like you didn't deserve that bad that they added on to you, that they tried to cast onto you, that they tried to kill, steal, and destroy your existence with. You didn't think that feel good, did you, beloveds? No, it did not. And you know it don't feel good. So when you call on God, you bring that testament down to your heart, and you fill it with so much love and so much light and so much immunity to all of life. You don't leave not one person out of that crying or that prayer or that immunity. You put everything in there. You put your problems. You put your poverty in there. You put your denial in there. You put everything that ever happened to you in that heart. And you let it radiate in you with love and light. And God will answer your calling like this. Just like this. Because number one, you did not ask for anything but for life. You didn't ask for anything but for life. And one thing that I came to give you was life, and life abundantly. So let not your hearts be weary on this day or any day moving forward from this message on, beloveds. And you tell the good news. You don't put it out into the world. You don't profit the world. You profit somebody's heart with that immunity to life on this day. And on every day when you know somebody is weary, when you know somebody is going through something that's causing them anger, frustration, fear, rage, anyone of God's children can receive life, can receive love, can receive immunity through you. But you cannot take it outwardly. Go into your heart. And sometimes you ain't going to be able to help some people. You will not be able to help some people, and it's okay. Those people, guess what? They're who God is testing right now. They are who God is testing. Sometimes God, he tests them. The only reason why he tests them is because he does not want to destroy them. He does not want to take their immunity to life away from them. So he wants to see if they're going to get it right. He wants to see if they're going to stop doing what they were doing to his children. So he's going to test them through you. Not because you were bad, not because you have any karma, but because of your light. And see, one thing about darkness is it hates light. It hates light. Darkness hates light, but the only way that God can do his will for all of his children, even them that are in the dark, those who have been casted out and trying to kill, steal, and destroy you with their immunity against life, is through you, through you, through your prayers, through your testament, through your heart's desires. So don't become a double-edged sword, beloveds. Don't become an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Become the fabric of all existence, and God will answer your prayers for life. I came to give you life. That is your only wish. That is your only command. That is your only knowing. Tell him, I am sent me, beloveds. Know thyself and you will know me. So don't let your hearts be worried after this day, knowing this testament of life is dwelling as your heart's desire already confirmed, already ordained, already anointed, already appointed. Ask and it shall be given. You asking for the one thing in which we all are made in the same fabric and cloth for. Don't be an eye for an eye. Don't be a double-edged sword, but be the very testament of life. And watch life go before your honor. Victory is already ours, beloveds. It's always been ours. But we used it against one another instead of for existence, for life. If no one has told you this today, beloveds, the truth. The truth is immunity to life, beloveds. And when you can operate as its testament, when you can embody its spirit, your words become living testaments to all who receive them. Your words will be seeds of life that will forevermore resonate as a calling to life, permeating the ethers, never ever being destroyed by anything, but waiting for all those ready to receive that calling to life. What you do for all of life, what you do on a universal level of life, it is never not going unnoticed. Maybe by those who try to stop you, those thieves who come to kill, steal, and destroy the immunity to life. But in the ethers, with God, with existence, with the immunity to everybody of existence, you will never, ever, ever be unforgotten. Remember, your heart carries the seed of life. And when you know how to use that seed for life, all things will be added on to you, beloveds. Generations upon generations, eons upon eons, nations upon nations, bodies upon bodies, colonies upon colonies, elements upon elements will be basking in your beautiful immunity to life. Have an amazing day, beloveds.